gentlemen, hello. This is Kilo Oscar 4, Papa Delta India, KO4 PDI, your ham fun guy, coming to you from Palm Coast, Florida on a beautiful, cool night. It is 56 degrees. It was 27 this morning when I took the dog for a walk. So all you folks up north suffering in the snow, just know it was just as bad for me down here in Florida. Anyway, I know you guys, you're all laughing at me. You're pussy. It's 56 degrees. That's not cold. Go sit in your refrigerator for 3 hours. It is cold for us Floridians who thinned out our blood to deal with the heat during the summer. So I hope you're all doing well. We're going to have some fun tonight because so many people said to me, "Hey, Mike, what do you got in your ham shack?" And I posted that new picture with the monitors mounted horizontally. And you're right. I've added a few things. I've done a few things. I've done some different things. I am going to give you a complete tour of my ham shack, no matter how long it takes. We're going to start on the left and work our way to the right. I'm going to show you the mixer I use. You're going to see the messy table. You know, it's something every time you're in a ham shack and you get a table to put stuff on, more crap ends up on that table to the point where you can't see what you originally put the table there for. In my case, it was my mixer and my printer, which are now buried under debris. I'll just call it that for now. Anyway, I have my iPhone hooked up with Let's View running. So just give you a quick look at what that looks like. Here you go right here. There is the Let's View screen. And there's me on the top right. So you're looking at me. Over here is the output of Let's View. Over here is Discord, which is on, by the way. If you want to join me in the chat, go to my KO4 PDI server and look up the room. I'll show you that right there. You can see. Scroll down until you see Ragchew. Click that. Turn on your microphone and camera. If you want a camera, turn on your camera too. I will turn them both on. So if you get in there, you can watch and listen. Oh, and we should, I got nothing showing right now, but anyway, I'm in the Ragchew room. So if while we go through all this, you see something that you want to talk about, please feel free. Oh, I didn't put a backdrop in here. Let's see if I copy the geochron. Let me copy of that and go over to this screen and put it in the background. Paste. And it's going to cover everything up until I lower it down in the stack. That's better. All right. So I'll load it down one more so you can see the logo and stuff. All right. I just put this screen together before I came on live. So let's start taking a tour. Phone went to sleep. Wake the phone up again. Up. And Let's View. You all just saw my combination. All right, we'll start over here. This monitor here and this one here are not HD. I mean, they're not, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not 4K. The two on the right, the one that has OBS running on it and the one that I'm watching the live stream myself, those are 4K monitors. Right, by the way, I popped out the chat. There's nobody there. I don't know, is this a concerted effort not to come to my live stream anymore? There's my geochron up on the wall. Now, the cool thing is, if you look down below the geochron, right there, you can see the geochron is the vertical box, the black box that's vertical. The box on the bottom is a VHF, it's an HDMI switcher. So I have two outputs on that. So I have the geochron going into that, and one output is going to my monitor up there. The other output goes to my computer, which is what gives you the ability to see that behind me, the geochron. All right. The next monitor is also a lower resolution monitor, and that's the one that looks real spacey right now. You must have hit the button. Anyway, that's a monitor. So what I do is this monitor has my Ham Radio Deluxe log on it when I'm working. This is the monitor I do FT8 on, and I have the rig control for Ham Radio Deluxe comes up on there. Also the call log from Grid Tracker 2. So I can show you that how that works. If I turn on Ham Radio Deluxe, I just clicked on that, and it's going to ask me what radio I want to connect to. See? Right there. So we're going to double click on 7610. And now when that opens up, it turns on the radio. There's the 7610 right there. Yes, that is the newest addition to the shack. We'll talk about that in a second. And here you can see the rig control from Ham Radio Deluxe. Now what I do is I open, and there is this is the logbook. That's my logbook on Ham Radio Deluxe. Okay. And now if I open WSJTX, you'll see that'll open up over here. And it always gives me this warning. I just click OK and we're done. And then I open Grid Tracker 2, which will open up right here in front of the Discord. And there it goes. This is the Discord side. It now has Grid Tracker 2 working on it. See? Right there, Grid Tracker 2 on the right, WSJTX on the left. And if I switch over to the FT8 screen, there you see the logbook, and I can turn the logbook off, and you'll see, whoops, wrong one. Turn this capture off, and you'll see WSJTX and Grid Tracker 2. We'll go into detail on those someday. There's my logbook. There's WSJTX and Grid Tracker 2. Okay, so let's move on from that screen. We go over to here. This is now the live stream. You're looking at it right on the screen right here. What you see here is what I'm streaming live right now. Here's the chat. Oh, we got Roger out here. Good, Roger. Glad you came. I didn't put the thing in. Let me put the featured chat in. Scene. I got to figure that. You know, when you do this, you make up these certain things. Like when you talk to me in the chat, I could put your text on the screen, but I have to put something on here to get you to see it. So there, I just did right under me. You can see Roger's comment saying hello. And that's where it is now. So we'll close that little thing there. And we'll move back over. Let's take Roger's comment off of there. All right, so now let's go over. When I do a live stream, if you notice, anytime you go to YouTube, on the top right, you see 3 dots vertical, and they would be over here in the chat. And you click on that, and you have to pop out the chat, which is what I did. The chat's in a separate window right here. All right. And the reason you have to do that is if you don't do that, I can't see it in OBS. See, here's Roger's tweet or his comment over here. And if I click on it, it puts it on the screen right below me. See that? So sometimes when I make new scenes, I forget to add in some stuff. So I got to do it again. But anyway, here we go. I don't want to put my finger in front of the camera. So this monitor that we're looking at here with the stream on it and the one with OBS on it, those are 4K monitors. Now here is where this is my Real-Link camera on the roof of my house looking at my antenna. Now how do I get that on the screen, right? You think, well, how does he get that on the screen? You go over to, I'll just show you on the SatPass screen. You can see, don't worry about that radio blinking. You see the camera on the top, the antenna on the top left. I take that window and I put it into this scene. Now, the reason you don't see the sat, let me turn it on so you see what I'm talking about. Here's the sat screen. The flickering is the 9700 camera, which isn't really working right now. Let me see if I can deactivate that and activate it again. Nope. It's what it is one of the cameras I'm using for this scene is on the same USB bus as that one. If you notice, I don't have my big boom mic here because I'm doing this little show off. I'm showing off the ham shack for you. All right. So that's when we do a SatPass. That's what the screen looks like. Now, if we move on, you got the monitors. You got both monitors. Those are 4K monitors. Let's get to the important stuff. I've always strove to have a good microphone for talking on the radios and talking on the live stream. This is an Electro Voice RE27 microphone with a windsock on it. Some people say I don't need the windsock. I say I do. This is an angled XLR connector so that the wire doesn't come down and bend up. It's just pointing right into the arm. This arm that I have, I never would have got this. I would have rather had a regular mic stand with a boom on the end, because with that on there like that, and what's nice is this table I got from a lawyer who was renovating his office, and he was getting a new conference room table. He gave me this table. Thank God. This thing weighs a freaking 500 pounds, I think. And it has an opening in the middle for the wires to go through. See that? So what I did was this boom clamps onto the table right there. Great, right? Solid as a rock, moves great, swivels really good. And this is a heavy microphone, so you need a heavy duty boom. And those high old overhead booms and stuff like that, that wasn't going to cut it. You needed something professional. The only problem, when I use this microphone here, if I hit the table like this, you hear it in the live stream. You hear the dunk, dunk, dunk every time I hit the table. Now, you're not going to hear it now because this mic isn't on right now. This is the same. If you ever watched Rush Limbaugh and you saw the golden EIB microphone, except for the gold plating, this is the same microphone. This is the same microphone Rush Limbaugh used to use. My mentor, the big brother I never had, I call him. Same microphone he used on his radio show for over 30 years. So that was something else that I was able to get my hands on that at a very good price from a good friend. All right, let's get back to more important things. Ham radio. Remember ham radio? This is a Stream Deck controller that I got from T.O., believe it or not. He bought it, but he's living in a trailer, and he doesn't have a lot of room for a lot of extra stuff. So he got rid of this. But what's really cool is this is a Real Link. I could turn on my cameras outside with that. This is my ham radio channel right here. If I hit that, it goes to that in the browser. This is Facebook. This is the SAP page. This is OBS settings. If I hit OBS settings, these are all the controls for OBS, which I have to redo because they updated the firmware. So we'll just go back. But anyway, this is, you ever see those beautiful output images I put up of all the next satellites coming up? Well, here it is right here. If we blow this up to full screen. Hey, Mike. Good. I'm sorry, Jeff. Jeff, good to see you. KD9 Zulu Sierra Lima. All right, so here's the screen. Let's go to the SatPass screen real quick. And you can see I opened up the SatPass screen. Now, how do I take a picture of that? Well, if you look at the Stream Deck, this middle button right here, see what that is? That's a little plus sign with a camera in it. If I hit that, it makes the whole screen dark. And then I can just select what I want to copy. All right, you see that? Now I just copied that. And I can go to Facebook over here, like I'm going to say something, click on it, right click, and hit paste. And it puts that picture right on the screen. Now, there's another way to do that. You don't need a Stream Deck to do that. What you can do is come over to your keyboard and hold down Windows, Shift, and S. And watch the screen gets dark. And now I can use my mouse to select an area of the screen. And as soon as I take my finger off it, it makes it into a image. I can go back over to Facebook. I can type here. I can right click and hit paste. Oh, wait, we never posted this. Close that. New. All right, get rid of this. Now I can hit paste. And there you go. That's the section of the screen I just copied. So there's a little Windows lesson for you. The camera died again because it went out. All right. So now let's start talking turkey. You see the antenna. I'm using my Reolink camera to show you the antenna. But how do I turn the antenna? That is a Yaesu 5500 rotator on that tower. And if we move over here to the left of the 9700, move the speaker so you can see what I'm talking about. And there is the controller for the rotator on top of the tower. And yeah, you can control it manually with these buttons here, left and right, up and down, right? Or you can just have a program do it like I do with the SAT the SAT box, the self-contained antenna tracker. That's hooked up to that with a DIN cable, which is right here on top of the SAT box. Oh, by the way, this is the SAT box. You can get a good look at it. Right now, I don't have anything on it. That's the IP address to connect to it, but you can't. That's the prototype SAT box that has Bluetooth built in. We have not figured out how we're going to use that in the future yet. And right below that, we have the ICOM 9700. It's coming on right now. This is the radio I use to talk on satellites. I also use this for local repeaters, talking to Rag Chew with buddies. There is the ICOM speaker that was made for this radio. That speaker was $200. For the life of me, I don't understand why it's $200. However, I will say this, it sounds so much better than the internal speaker on the radio. It was worth the price. All right, there's that switch panel up there. That's a, what is it, a box that all the monitors are plugged into. It's fused. It also has USBs on top of it. And I have multiple areas I can plug in more equipment. All right. So there's that. That's on top of the 9700 along with the SAT box. Now this little round thing you see here, that's the camera that when you're looking at my solo camera, you're looking at me on a live stream. That is the camera we're shooting with. Let me see it. Yeah, you can't see me now because I got the phone right in front of me. You see the little red light on it? That's how you know it's on. I can turn it off just by doing that. You see the red light go off and I disappear from the screen. Or I could turn it on. My phone is getting in the way. You can't see me, but that's what that's all about. What you don't see, I'm going to show it to you now. This is the camera that looks at the 9700. It's the same camera as that one, but it's facing the 9700. And by turning this and tilting it a certain way, I can get it all to fit in the screen. All right. Those are the only two cameras I use mostly in my live streams. However, just so you know, we have this camera overhead up there. I'm sitting down here. You can see the Elgato green screen right there. And then I also have one on the table over there looking at me on a lower version of it. All right. The lights that I'm using are just painter lights. These are, I'll give you an idea what those are. They're just little lights with clamps on them. Here you go. It's a painter's light with a clamp, and I clamp it to the top of the shelf here. And that's just an LED light. It can be changed. The temperature of the light can be changed. There's a dial on it, although it's getting hot. Oh, God, that's hot. Why is that hot? It's supposed to be LED. Why is it hot? It shouldn't get hot. But you could change it. I'm not going to do it now because I don't want to hurt myself. It's too hot. There is a dial on there that you can change the temperature of the light. If you know anything about the Kelvin scale, that is what controls. But there's the other one over there. This one's mostly shining on the ceiling and on the green screen behind me. And this one shines down on me from up there when I'm sitting down in my chair. Now, if we turn around, right here is the green screen, the Elgato green screen. I'm going to take it down now, actually, and show you how easy it is. Jim of FEP Labs turned me on to this baby. Here's how it goes up and down. You undo this clamp. It's going to be hard to do with one hand. You lower that, tighten the clamp, take this, it rolls up into the base, and then the top folds over. And then the way I store it during the day when I'm not doing a stream, I just lean it up against the wall right there. See? This is the background you used to see before I got sophisticated with green screen. Yeah, I had an American flag hanging across here. There's my, I think, therefore I ham. And if you notice, you know what this is? I won this on Frank's live stream. Tank Radio, Boonie hat. Thanks, Frank. Here's a whole bunch of QSO cards and SSTV images I shot. I downloaded from the International Space Station right there. And a couple of expedition things. That's my brother John with his oldest son, my nephew Johnny, and his wife Janet. He passed away in 2021. I'm still devastated over it. Joe Domaleski, this is his QSO card. Is the camera still working? Yeah. He sent me that. I like that. There's a Lunar Expedition, Expedition 66. Downloaded that. That was 12 of 12. Apollo 50th anniversary QSO card. I thought that was cool. That was the Kennedy Space Center Amateur Radio Club. That was theirs. I've been getting the St. Augustine, not a St. Augustine, the Embry-Riddle Amateur Radio Club a lot. I love this. Nice picture of the shuttle launching. Keep calm and take the cannolis. And this is probably one of the funniest QSO cards I ever got from N9WYD. And on the bottom, it's covered up right now, but it says, "Shh, we hunting POTA." I love it. Anyway, there's me and Mike from Jacksonville. Last year, I went up there for field day. I might go up there for winter field day today. I'm thinking about it. All right, here's the massive computer I built that runs the whole show. It's got six terabytes of storage space on that baby. And in Florida, you got to have these integrated, what is it called? Uninterrupted power supply. It's a buffer in case you have a power hit, and it's also a battery backup. So it's good to have one of those. I have that on everything I own, even my TVs in the living room. We're back to the 4K monitor right there. Now here is the newest addition to the shack. ICOM 7610. I have a friend of mine who was a fanatic for the 7300 Mark II. He sold me this radio and bought the 7300 Mark II. I think he made a mistake because he gave it to me at such a good price. It all works. It is one of the first 7610s manufactured, which means if there's ever an issue with it, they might not be able to fix it because the original parts that they built this radio with, they can't get anymore. Maybe if I had to send it back to ICOM, which I don't think I'm going to have to do, but if I sent it back to ICOM, they could upgrade it to the new version with the new chips and the new devices. That's a possibility. I don't know if they're going to do it, but I love this radio. And I already had that speaker. That speaker is what I had. I had the 7300 going to one channel and the 9700 going to another channel. Now each radio has its own speaker. And that has the A and B switch, so I can switch between VFO-A and VFO-B for the audio. And that makes it really nice. I love the layout of this. A couple of things I would improve, which they probably did in the 7760. I like having the band buttons there, but here's my one pet peeve about this radio. This mouse is connected to that waterfall. The problem is, and I'm going to talk to Ray Novak about this and see if there's a firmware update or something they could do. If you watch the waterfall, you see my mouse moving along there? Let's just say, I got it hooked up to FT8 right now, but let's just change bands. Let's go to 40 meters. So now we're on 40 meters. Okay, first thing you notice is I do have some interference there. Look like right here. Those look like interference. Those don't look like signals. But you can go over here, and I like this idea. You can click, and it immediately tunes to where you clicked. However, here's the pet peeve. I don't mind that the only place I can touch anything is within the waterfall. I don't mind that. What I do mind is you don't always hit it right on the money. You might be off a bit. And what I wish, instead of having to let go of the mouse, now here's my hand here. So I'm here with the mouse, right? So I click on it and pick a spot. Let's pick this signal right here on the right. I click on that. It moves it right to the center. But if I'm not quite on, let me see if anybody's talking on there. Yeah, I'm not on the frequency. I have to turn this dial to get to the frequency. So I have to take my hand off the mouse, let go, and come over here and fine tune it. How can they not just make the mouse wheel do like small hertz adjustments? So I could just, in other words, if I don't nail the station on the money, like there, give me the ability with the mouse wheel to fine tune it. I don't know why they can't do that. That is such a simple thing to do. All right, we are on 40 meters right now. We're outside the band though. Let's come back into the band. You can see I have some interference here, 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 here. That's interference. All right, so now we hear him. So what, like, that's the spot. So if I click here, and then it moves over to here, and I click there, notice, see what the frequency is? I clicked over there, and it's 159.159. Just move to the left. There. Let's go to, what is the, what's the maritime net? Is it 7.300? Now the maritime net is on 20 meters. All right, so I'll just... Now the nice thing is... So if we were doing this for real, if I was hunting HF and wanted to let you guys hear me hunt HF, I wouldn't be using my phone to show you the radio. The radio has a video output that I could show you the radio on the video output and show you what that looks like. 14,300 is the maritime net, Roger's telling me. There we are. We're in the... Roger says there's so much to learn, his brain hurts. Oh, relax, Roger. And it's 14,300. That's what I put it on now. But if you notice, if I put on 7610 directly, you can see that screen perfect. I love that it has that video output. Everybody bitches it doesn't have... everybody bitches about the fact that it doesn't have an HDMI cable on it, but with a little adapter, you go from a, what do you call it, the digital output, I forget the name of that, to an HDMI, and it works fine. All right, so now you saw that radio. You saw the 9700, right? I told you about the SAP box. Oh, I also run, turn that volume down. I also run a room on Wires X. Now, this doesn't look like much. It's just a laptop sitting on a Yaesu box with a bunch of wires, right? Oh, and you know what that is? This is the HRI 200. That's what creates the Wires X room 43677. And right above it is my Yaesu FT, my Yaesu FTDX 300. It's the 300 Yaesu. I love it. It's acting as the node, and it's also acting as the host for the room 43677. This thing on the bottom, this is a USB powered fan that blows up on everything, keeps everything cool. Because if you get a lot of people talking on there right away, you're going to get a nice wide mix up there. All right, so remember I told you about the table? This is the table I put in to hold my printer and my mixer. And here's what that looks like. I told you it was a mess. Somewhere in there is a print. Oh, that's right. That's the printer buried under this keyboard thing. This is the keyboard I bought to use with the 7610 wireless Bluetooth. I can do RIDI, and I made my first ever RIDI contact, QSO. Here's my label maker I label everything with. There's my mixer. Everybody spends tons of money on mixers. I bought this mixer on, not Amazon. Where'd I get it on? I think I got it on Alibaba or something. But this is a great mixer. I even bought one for my Elks Club and set it up for their sound system. What's nice about this has Bluetooth. I can feed music into it via Bluetooth and put that out over the stream if I wanted. But I haven't done that yet. May do something like that in the future. Here's the collection of HTs, and I got to get another one. My good buddy Don, W8CPT, Captain Don up in Michigan, just showed off in a short. He got a full duplex HT by Anytone, and he's going to do a video on it. I can't wait to see it. Assorted chargers, cradles, and batteries laying around here. A couple of Yaesu UV5R minis. I'm working on those. I might be giving those away. I got my 2 Wouxun radios. I have a bunch of Baofangs right here. We got Baofangs coming out my yin yang. You notice the switch box right behind them. All of these HTs are plugged into this switch. So if you notice, I just flipped the switch and all their chargers just came on. I only do that if I'm going to use one of these radios. I turn it on, leave it on overnight to charge everything up. Otherwise, I leave this off. I only turn it on when I'm going to be using the radios because I don't want to overdo the, what is it? I don't want to overdo the batteries on them and wear them out. So we got my printer there. There is the old monitor stand that had the 2 vertical monitors on it. All kinds of USB buses and stuff like that on here. A couple of cables for charging that work with RT systems. I got an illuminated keyboard. Don't use a wireless keyboard on your HF radio. Just a little tip for you. What happened was I was sitting at the desk here one day and I had my HT in my hand and I keyed my mic and it tripped the computer to tell it tripped the keyboard to tell the computer to go to sleep. So over here we have a couple of digital clocks. This is my weather station. That's on my time. It's 6:33 Eastern. And above that is, that's on UTC time. When I originally set up my ham shack, my desk was in the corner here. So I put plaques of all my awards on that wall and on this wall. And I ran out of room and I started putting them above that pegboard. So over time, things changed. Here's my Geochron, a couple of awards. This is my storage bin for all my gadgets, doodads, and gadgets. So, and I got everything separated into these little boxes. I love these boxes. The ones on top, I think I bought them. I got 8 of them for $10 at BJ's Warehouse. And these on the bottom here, I got these at Staples. This one I got at Staples. The dark ones I got at Staples, as well as the blue ones. The clear ones, I think I got those at Staples too. And I separated it out. USB cables, coax jumpers, HDMI cables, cat and mic cables on top, followed by mics, information, and batteries underneath that. Got some bioanos in there. Up here we got printer stuff. That's ink and stuff from my printer. More batteries and SDR devices, SD cards, HT antennas. That is, I'll tell you, I wish HTs all had the same antennas so I didn't have to keep marking them and figure out which one goes to which radio and what frequency it does. Audio stuff is like jumper cables and stuff like that for headphones, adapters and chokes, and a sat box. This box has nothing but sat box stuff in it. Empty boxes from radios I bought, so if I sell my Wouxun or give it away, they'll be coming to you in the original box. A couple of Baofeng boxes up there. Insta360 is my 360-degree camera that I use. That's my hat for my Halloween costume when I dress up as V. This is the HRI 200 came in this. Good idea. This room is probably 10 foot by 12 foot room. And there's K9AUY. Look, say hi, Goldie. Say hi. K9AUY. Right there. Isn't she gorgeous? Those legs were so short when she first came to live with me, right, Goldie? No reaction out of you? Oh, there, you blinked. Good. People know you're alive. You're not a stuffed animal. All right, let's switch around, get off of this. Andy Cowie. How you doing, Andy? Welcome aboard. Notice no green screen now, so you can see the whole room behind me. Andy Cowie came to the game. How you doing, Andy? Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Audio what? Audio what, Andy? What's the matter with the audio, Andy? You're not hearing me, or what? What's? He came to the game. How you doing, Andy? Good to see you. Oh, I sound fine. 10 people watching. Well, welcome aboard, everybody. By the way, the Discord server is up and running. If you want to talk directly to me, or you want to get on the stream and talk on the stream, you're more than welcome to. If you have any questions, no audio. Andy, turn on your speakers. I hear the audio. Oh, it sounds fine. It sounds different. 10 people watching. Well, it sounds different because I'm using a lapel mic tonight instead of the boom mic, which is right here. There's the boom mic. I did that so I could show you the boom mic and show you everything else that goes with it. So since we're on the HF radio, let's click on the 20 meter FT8. There we go. Enable transmit. Run a tune. That's one thing I like about the, oh, look, every time I transmit that radio, it makes this camera jittery. Got to figure out what's causing that. Let me see if I do it again. Yep. When it goes to transmit, it makes this camera jittery. Maybe because this camera's right next to it. I'll have to put some toroids on there. Well, let's do it while I got you on here. We got some clip-on toroids. And we'll pull up some slack. Wrap a couple of wines around here. And see if maybe that eliminates that. All right, let's try it. Yep, still does it. Okay, forget that idea. I'll have to fix that. Move the camera or plug it into a different bus. Or put some more toroids on the, I got to put some more toroids on the camera cable or the USB cable going to the radio. But yeah, it's still causing a problem. So we won't transmit. Turn that off. All right. Andy, did you get audio? Is everybody else getting audio? Is everybody else getting it? Andy, you missed it, man. We were talking about my new 7610 and my 9700, how it's set up for the satellite passes. But I've showed you that many times. So you got to look at the room. Oh, the dog must have got annoyed with me putting her on camera. So she got off the bed and she's sleeping behind me on the floor now. I wonder if you could see that in the overhead camera. No, you can't see it. I can turn it so you can see her. She was sleeping on the bed. You saw that, right? But look, now she's sleeping on the floor behind me. Good for her. That dog's got it made. She's got it made in the shade. We have a good time. It back. Okay, good. Good. Maybe it was just one scene I went to that you didn't hear it. And Jeff says it's good. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for getting back to me and letting me know that. All right, so, and it's good in Ohio too. All right, great. I'm glad you guys are there. Anybody got any questions? Put them in the chat and ask me whatever you want. This is not what I expected when I got into ham radio. I did not expect to have a shindig like this. I remember telling my buddy Jim, who was my Elmer at the time, he said, I said, yeah, what do I need? I need an antenna for 2 meters, 70 centimeter, and I need an antenna for HF. So I need two antennas, right? He laughed. I have 7 right now. I actually, when I did the tower, I ran an extra piece of coax up the tower. So if I want to put another antenna up on the tower, there's already coax there for it. Or if one of my existing coaxes for the 70 or 2 meter antennas go bad, there's another whole run of LMR 400 going that way, so I could just switch cables if the cable went bad. I worked for the phone company for many years, and the one thing we learned about was grounding and bonding. So I learned a lot about that working for the phone company, and then also running wires, how to route the wires, how to put them in, how to make them so they don't bind up or they don't get caught. Like I have like 10 feet of slack on all the cables, the 2 control cables and the 3 coaxes that go up the tower. I have 10 feet of slack in those, a big loop on the side of my house. Someday we'll go outside in the backyard and I'll show you what I'm talking about there. But when I tilt over that tower and it goes down horizontal, you need about 10 feet of cable because it's separate from the house. It's like 3 feet away from the house and it's moving further away from the house. So you got to have slack in the cables. So that's what I do. I put about 10 feet of slack in there. I let it all out before I try to lower the tower. Then I lower the tower. And once I start lowering the tower, it picks up the slack and it works out good. I had to learn all that stuff. I learned a lot of that working for the phone company. I've ran a lot of... One of the big things in the phone company early on was key phones. You remember key phones? Each telephone could handle like 5 numbers. It had a hold button, and it all worked with relays. When you put somebody on hold, it told the card back in the equipment, hold on to that call, don't let it drop. And it would click. It had a relay that would just tit, 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 and the light would blink on the phone to let you know there was somebody waiting there. Those cables were as thick as LMR 400, and I sometimes had to run 10 or 20 of them through the same area. So you'd put these big rings up on a wall. And the funny thing is, you don't need to do that anymore. Everything works over VoIP. It's all voice over IP. And you could use regular Cat 5, Cat 6 cable for those phones. Because it's all digitized now. This is back before they digitized everything. Back when telephone calls were analog. But having a 37-year career doing that was very easy for me to figure out where am I going to put my lightning protection, where am I going to run the cable, how am I going to get the cable into my house. One of the devices they had, you could buy a box and you drill a hole right through the back of the box, through the house, put a tube in there, and that's where you feed all your coaxes into your ham shack. Well, my house is poured concrete, so there's not just concrete in between me and the outside. There's rebar and there's everything. I defy anybody. The drill I would have to borrow or rent in order to do that cost a fortune. Plus, it has to be bolted to the side of your house because it uses that strength to drill the hole through the concrete. Otherwise, you can't get through the rebar and all that other fun stuff. So I said, you know what? Forget that. The concrete ends about 6 inches above my ceiling. I go in the soffit outside. I bring the cables over that concrete wall and down into the other side and pull it through the ceiling. And that's what I did. And if I go to the, let's turn on Let's View again. Let's View. All right, let's jump over to, all right, let's get Let's View on the screen. Okay, so now we're back here. If we look in the top corner of my room, there are all my cables. Those are my control cables for the rotator and my LMR 400s and my other cables for my HF antennas coming through behind everything. Down there, you can see it under the monitor. Where am I? Right there. It ain't neat. I'm not going to say it's neat. It's a mess. But there's the connectors for those white things. Those are Molenex connectors. Those connect the rotator cable to the cable that's outside. And the bad thing was I had all this stuff in already. I couldn't get those connectors through pole on the top of the ceiling because it was too tight. So I had to do something else. Anyway, so I did. So any questions? Nobody's got questions. I can't believe nobody has questions. You got 10 people watching. Nobody wants to know something in particular? How I did all this? Somebody's got to want to ask a question. Come on, don't be shy. Talk to me. Talk to me, baby. Yeah, you still got my audio there. Okay, I'm just checking. Oh, Discord. Did you lose me on Discord? No. Sat Pass Live. No, I still got audio there. Live HF. Yeah, I got audio. Tower camera. Yeah, I got audio there. Desk. Still got audio. Overhead. Still got audio. Solo cam. Ham shack. Yeah, I'm here. All right, good. Okay, anything else, guys? It's I've been going for about 45 minutes. We had 11 watching. That just dropped down to 9. We got 47 minutes we've been going. So if you got any questions, now's the time to ask. How many people out there actually have a 7610? And tell me what you think of it. I have been enjoying the 7610 a lot because it's such a great radio. Oh my God. I can't tell you how much I enjoy using that radio. FT8, yeah, we've been raking in a bunch of calls, mostly in the United States today, but the last couple of days, we got Cuba, Brazil, Mexico, Canada, Uruguay, another Canada, Haiti, Brazil, Trinidad and Tobago. These are the last 2 days. These are the people I've contacted. So, all right. I think that's it, guys. I hope you like that. If anybody comes up with any questions later on, you can go to the Discord and ask them in there. Or you could contact me by emailing me at ko4pdi@1791.com. That is a paid-for email address that prevents Google from scanning my emails, which they don't need to do anymore because they just listen to me on my phone probably. Why is the video jittery? ko4pdi@1791.com. That is the video's not smooth, is it? Yeah, why is the video, it's lagging tremendously. Oof. That shouldn't be doing that. I got too much stuff working here. That's what the problem is. I don't know. I don't know why that's doing that. I don't know why that's happening. There's a way. There is a way. Stats. Usually when you run the stats, it'll tell you if you've gotten lags or errors. And it looks like it's running pretty clean right now. It says dropped frames 0 out of 90,724. So that must be my computer that's causing it to go slow. Let's start closing programs. Close WSJTX. Close Grid Tracker 2. Close that. Close the log. I'm closing it all down and seeing if it stops lagging. No, it's still lagging. Yeah, Jeff's not kidding. I got a lot going on in the shack. Yes, I do. Because it would be a lot for anybody that runs a ham radio shack, but it's more for me because I'm actually doing the ham radio and streaming. So I have streaming devices. I have 4 cameras hooked up to the computer. I have the video out of the Geochron and the video out of the 7610 going into the computer. that I could call on any of them at any time and put them on the screen. And I think that's probably what's doing it. So I'm closing things down. But I still got it. I still got the shaking going on. Jeff, why'd you retract your statement? I had it on the screen and everything. Yeah, that's what you get. I wasn't upset with that, Jeff. You could have left that up there. Anyway, did you guys enjoy that? All right, that's it for now. Goldie's sleeping on the pillow. I'm going to shut the lights off, get comfy, and run some FT8 before I go to bed tonight. I think I'm going to have my dessert for after we get done. I got a nice ice cream sandwich. Bluebell ice cream sandwiches. I get them at Publix. They're freaking delicious. Oh my God, just like the ones I used to have as a kid. I used to love them as a kid. Spelling. Hey, I knew exactly what you were talking about, Jeff, so no problem. I suck at spelling. If there was an Olympic sport for misspelled words, I'd be the gold medalist. I totally agree. I suck at spelling. There's times when spell check looks at me and goes, what the hell do you want to say here? I have no idea what word you just typed. God knows I'm having fun though, folks. So join me every week at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays. I'm here. And you could ask me questions. You got any topics you want to talk about? You want to get on here and talk about something you're doing? I'll invite you to be my guest on the live stream. In the beginning, the first person I got on was Mike, K8MRD. And I got Vern. Anybody knows Vern? Vern is a super generous guy. He's the guy that every year at the Huntsville Ham Fest, he rents the pavilion for the ham radio guys to play radio all day. For 2 days. He pays for the pavilion, which is really nice. And what's great is the last Ham Fest, he booked it for the next one, which is nice. All right, that's it. You guys, play nice. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, at least not without me, all right? Call me first. We'll do it together, all right? This is KO4 PDI saying 73 till next week, or the next time I do a satellite pass. No ISS pass tonight. It's already passed for the day. And yeah, if I'm just wondering if SO50 or RS44 is coming. It's not coming over me anytime soon. So, all right, Jeff, 73, buddy. You have a great day. Thanks for coming. I'll say 73 to everybody. Remember what I always say: don't do anything I wouldn't do. At least not without me. All right. Call me first. We'll do it together. KO4 PDI, I'll be clear, 73.